Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is me, LaurenNicole, and I'm here with another lock video for you guys. Today I want to talk about reasons why your locks might not be growing or might not appear to be growing. That is one of the most common things that I feel like people complain about in the beginning of their journey, especially, is that their locks are not growing. And I'm going to give you guys some reasons why your locks may not appear to be growing or why they really might not be growing. So if you are interested, stay tuned. I have everything written in my little book that is pretty much reasons why I feel like your locks aren't growing or the growth is being hindered. So let's jump right into it. The first reason is shrinkage. So when you start a lock journey, you have to understand that your hair is going to completely shrink up to its shortest, most natural shrunken point it can even shrink up to. It's going to do that for the first 6 months to maybe a year, depending on your texture. After your hair has matured, then you will start to see your lock length come down. But when you are in the maturing process where there's a lot of budding going on and all of that, your hair is going to shrink up because the little skinny coils or two-strand twists you started with, they have to thicken up, right? And this is all this is all hair that is going to get tangled around within the lock. So it's going to shrink up, especially if you have curly hair. It's going to shrink up. So when you start your locks, you have to be ready to see a lot of your length disappear. It does not mean your hair is not growing. Yes, your hair is still growing, but it is just shrinking at a faster rate than it is growing, and it will give you the illusion that your hair is getting shorter and shorter. When I started my locks, my hair was probably like at least right here, and they easily shrunk up to ear length, neck length. So you have to be expecting that. It does not mean your hair is not growing. It is just shrinking and thickening up. And you, like, once your locks really mature, you'll appreciate that, because you'll realize thickness is way greater than length. And yeah, your hair is doing what it is supposed to do. So just don't even sweat it. Don't even wonder why your hair is not growing. As long as it's budding and getting frizzy and all that good stuff, your locks are doing what they're supposed to do. The second reason why your hair might not be growing is because you're doing too much manipulation, too many styles. I know a lot of people like to get a really cute style once they get a retwist and all that, and that's cool every once in a while. But if you are constantly putting tight styles in your hair, pulling at the follicles in your scalp, like, come on now. This is just like if you had loose natural hair. You're going to eventually see some damage after a while. See some, eventually you're going to notice that your hair is not thriving. Same with excessive manipulation. If you're constantly hands in your hair, trying to do all this different stuff, especially in the early stages, you got to just stop. Like, I get it. You are bored with your hair. You want to try something new. You saw a style you thought was cute. You just want to do something to your hair. But leave it alone. That is the best suggestion I could give to anybody who is starting their locks. Leave them alone. And even as they mature, there's no reason to continuously put them in tight styles. Locks are meant to be down and free. They need to breathe. If you're putting protective styles over them constantly, putting scarves over them constantly, it's one thing to do it every once in a while, but if you constantly are like that, you are going to hinder your growth, because our hair is like a plant. Would you keep a plant covered all day? I get it. If you go some places where you don't want your locks taking in that energy, cover them up. But when you're at home, when you're asleep, let the babies breathe, because they need oxygen. They really do. They need oxygen. They need water. They need moisture to survive. They are just like a plant. So if you're constantly covering them up, you are hindering it. Another thing is not enough moisture. When you're in the early stages of your locks, no, I don't recommend doing like rinse out conditioners, but there's other options to moisturize your hair. You can use aloe vera, rose water, oils, light spray and leave-in conditioners. Like, you don't have to use actual thick creamy conditioner to moisturize your locks. And a lot of people think, oh, since I can't use an actual creamy conditioner, I need to use, or I just need to use nothing. But no, there's plenty alternatives that you can use that will not hinder your locks from maturing, but keep them moisturized. Another thing is cotton pillowcases and sleeping with your hair down. Cotton pillowcases, get rid of them. Get rid of them. All you're doing is tossing and turning, creating more lint build up, creating breakage, all that type of stuff. Even if you're a loose natural, you know this. Cotton pillowcases got to go. I don't sleep with my hair covered at all. You guys know that. I just sleep with my hair pulled up into a high ponytail, and then I sleep on a silk or satin pillowcase. That's what I ultimately recommend for locks. Unless you're somebody who, wears manicured locks and you want to keep them covered and protected to maintain your retwist, then yeah, maybe put a bonnet on at night. But I highly recommend just letting your locks breathe at night. Pull them bad boys up, sleep on a satin pillowcase, and boom, they're breathing and they're protected. Okay. Another one is toxic products like the Jamaican mango lime, the beeswax that a lot of people still swear by. A lot of people still swear by. And to each its own. If you feel like it's working for you, don't think I'm telling you to stop. But at the end of the day, those are products that are very heavy with a lot of unrecognizable ingredients. Okay? Try and keep it as natural as possible when it comes to dealing with your locks. The Jamaican mango lime, when I first started locks and doing my own locks, I thought that product was cool because it was so popular. So I was like, it must be all right. But no, the only product that I like from the Jamaican mango lime brand is their castor oil. No, that is the truth. But anything else on that line, dead it, scratch it. Beeswax, stop. Locks, they hold on to every single thing. It is not like loose natural hair. If you put a thick, heavy product in your hair full of ingredients, it's not just going to slip out like if you were a loose natural and you just wash it. These locks hang on to stuff. They hang on to stuff. So it is so important that you do not just put any and everything in your locks, because your locks will take it all in and keep it. So yeah, keep it natural, lightweight. If you want to retwist with gels, use natural products. If you just use oil and water, that's great. But you don't do too much, okay? Another one is poor diet, dehydration, which that's a given. That's a given. If you have a poor diet, you don't drink water, your hair will not grow. Once again, our bodies are plants. Our hair is like plants. It needs proper nutrition and proper sunlight, it's just like a plant. It needs all that stuff to grow. So if you are not drinking enough water, your locks are going to be trash. If you're not drinking enough water, your loose natural hair will be trash. Your skin will be trash. Your body, you need to drink water, okay? Drink water. I don't care what nobody tells you. Another thing is too much heat, and this goes for loose natural hair as well as locks. Obviously with locks, you're not putting direct heat on your hair, but a lot of people do styles every week that require them to sit under the dryer, or every time they wash their hair, they blow it dry. And that's fine in bits and doses, but to make it a consistent part of your regimen, you will eventually see issues from that. Issues will arise. Heat is just not good for hair at all. We all know somebody who's a loose natural who's probably been, shoulder length for 5 years because she flat irons her hair every other day. You cannot put heat on your hair and expect it to thrive no matter how direct it is. The most I would ever do is, low heat when you're under the dryer. Low heat when you're under the dryer that's not directly boom, pressing heat through your hair. That's just not healthy. That is just not healthy no matter how you spin it, twist it, whatever. That ain't healthy. So try and air dry. Again, I don't even retwist my hair, so I don't deal with sitting under the dryer on a weekly, monthly basis. But if you are, you have to understand that heat is just not good for your hair. It's just not good for your hair. So air dry as often as possible. Just let it be. All this extra stuff you don't need, okay? Improper part to lock ratios. So if you started your locks, and depending on your hair texture, all that goes into play. But say you did thick partings, but you have thin hair. Or say you did thin partings, but you have thick hair. After a while, you might start to notice like thinning at the roots, something like that. Like, it really is important to do your research before you start a lock journey. Because I even have a couple of locks on my head that I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna make it. Because in certain areas, my texture was finer than in others. And so now as my locks are thickening up and getting heavier, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can find one, but like my bottom row is actually pretty thin as far as, because my texture is very, very loose in the bottom and all around my hairline. So the locks naturally came out a little thinner. But I do worry, like, at the roots, like, are they gonna hang on? I hope they hang on, but I'm like, damn, when my hair is like 2-3 times longer, I don't know. My ones in the back, they're pretty secure because they're thick and the roots are thick. My texture is thick back there, so it can hang on. But some of them, I'm like, I might have to, I am pretty sure I'm gonna have to do some combining of locks over time, because yeah, I have definitely learned you don't really know locks until you have them yourself, and then you learn everything that comes with it. And yeah, so some of my locks, I don't know if they're gonna make it, but I'll combine them before I ever let them fall. So that's that. And then the last thing, negative thoughts. If you are sitting there thinking in your mind, your hair is not growing, it's ugly, it's whatever, then that's what it's gonna be. You gotta tell yourself, like, my hair is the shit. My locks are growing. I might be in my baby lock phase, but these babies are growing and they're doing what they're supposed to do. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen next month. It's not gonna happen in 2 months. It takes time. That's why I say all the time, locks is about more than just aesthetics. Locks, it's a whole journey, mentally, physically, spiritually, and everything in between. So if you're not ready to go on that journey, you're not ready for locks. They are not, you don't wake up with locks unless you did some starter or some instant locks or some faux locks, lock extensions. Okay, that's cool. But if you were trying to do the natural, authentic journey, do not think that you just gonna have locks in a couple of months. You will not, especially if, depending on your texture and all that type of stuff. So your hair is always growing. There are things that people do that hinder their growth all the time that they don't necessarily realize that they're doing, but your hair is always growing. And I just hope that the tips that I gave, like, help somebody who might have been like, why isn't my hair, this length by now? You will completely lose, the first year, you will completely lose length. Do not expect your locks to really grow and be mature at the same time. They might grow, like, say you have a super loose texture. Yes, your locks are going to grow, but you will notice that everything at your root is just not locked unless you go and get it interlocked or crocheted, something like that, which I'm not a fan of those things. To each its own, but I'm not a fan of those. I like the way locks look when they lock naturally, no matter what your hair texture is. They always look better to me when it just locks naturally. So no matter what, you just expect for there to be some shrinkage, lots of shrinkage, and there's nothing you can do about it. Just embrace the fact that your hair is it's changing every week. Every week you're gonna have a different set of hair on your head. And yeah, some weeks it'll look not how you like it, some weeks it'll look great. It just depends. If you've been watching my journey, you already know that. Like, my hair was different. Every video that I came on here and chatted with y'all, my hair looked different. Sometimes it looked longer, sometimes it looked shorter. Now my locks are mature, so y'all are only gonna see them keep getting longer. And ooh, I love them so much. These are my babies. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate if you made it to the end, and I hope that I helped you if you were wondering what's going on, why your hair ain't growing, what could you do differently. That's my 2 cents on it. So make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Vegan High with 2 H's on the end. I do a lot more frequent updates on there. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.